Checking in today with Kevin Coughlin of the Montclair Wollaston Neighborhood Association because it's time for their annual Pumpkin Spice Festival. Kevin, how are you?
Oh, great. Good to see you. And thank you very much for offering this opportunity to share the information with your viewers and your listeners. Yeah, it's that time of year. The Neighborhood Association, as you know, has been around this 33 years in October. It was started by then City Councilor Larry Cretion and some of the neighbors, Howard and Janet Crowley, and a few other folks got together, to share concerns about development in the neighborhood. And, my experience with neighborhood associations, throughout their existence in the city of Quincy, at least, and in terms of my time on the council, was that people usually coalesced around neighborhood issues or concerns and got together and advocated for their communities. And I think the Montclair Wollaston Neighborhood Association is probably one of the oldest still in existence. Some of them, I think, have um, petered out over time or whatever. And in truth, we've over the last 33 years, we've matured. Some of us gracefully, some of us I don't know. But yeah, actually, our founding members, Janet Crowley passed away a few years ago, and Howie, I think, just turned 92. So anyway, so the group is still around. We are not as active as we used to be prior to the pandemic. We had monthly meetings and speakers and whatnot, and hosted a number of other events besides the Pumpkin Spice Festival. That had, the pandemic unfortunately tempered, a lot of those activities, and rebounding has been a little bit difficult in that regard. But this is one event that that we host every year, and I think truly reaches out to the community and beyond. And it's a fun event, and it's geared towards families and kids. There's a lot of activities and a lot of participation, and I'm grateful to our sponsors. Granite Telecommunications has been a sponsor for many years, and we continue to have a partnership with them. Dan Quirk, the Quirk Auto Dealerships, support this endeavor as well, and we have some participation from Stop and Shop, and then of course the city of Quincy. Without the city's park department and the granting of the use of Bishop Field, this wouldn't take place. And we have the fire department, the police department that participate. We hold like a toucher truck for the kids. Brewster Ambulance shows up, and sometimes they, in addition to their ambulance, they'll bring like one of their ATV vehicles. This year, we've also added the state police marine unit and dive unit. And the sheriff's office, Pat McDermott, usually sends a command vehicle, and there's, just different displays, and so that's all good stuff. So along with we have a balloon twister, face painter, pony rides, and we also have a petting zoo. And there's food. George Montilio sends over his wood-fired pizza truck with pastries and cookies and coffee, and I'm sure some of them will be pumpkin spice infused, just thematically for the day. And this year we've included the Break Rock Brewing for some adult beverages. As you're probably familiar, they're down on Marina Bay. And we will be having some entertainment. There's music, live music. And one of the groups, well, two of them, both played at the Ruth Gordon Amphitheater events this summer. and one is a group called 93 South, and they're a group of teenagers that have really made their mark. They've played around, different places in Boston, as well as here in Quincy, and they're like 15 and 16 years old. One of them is an accomplished vocalist who has performed opera with the BSO at Carnegie Hall. And they are instrumentally talented with the piano and ukulele and guitar, and songwriting talents. So, and they have quite a following. There's also the Rudder Crew, which I'm pleased to be a member of, along with my son Matt. And we've played around Quincy as well over the last few years, and a lot of outdoor events. And so there'll be the musical entertainment. There's food. There's stuff for there's a lot of activities for kids, and there's even a raffle for a couple of gift certificates to Stop and Shop, just by showing up at the association's table and just registering with the folks there. So it'll begin on Sunday, October 27th at noon, from noon to 4 p.m. at Bishop Field on Holbrook Road, which is behind the Montclair School. So just want to get the information out there. It's a free event, and with the exception of the food and the beverage, obviously those are separate. But everything else there is free, and we've had a great attendance over the years, and looking to just provide some fun for families on the Sunday the 27th.
I have nothing else to say, Kevin. You've said it all.
I think I filibustered. I should have been a member of Congress or something. I don't know.
We should, I guess, let folks know logistically, where to park, or if they're walking there, how to actually get there.
Yeah. So you have Holbrook Road on one side of the park, and there's plenty of parking there on Holbrook Road, and the Montclair School has a parking lot, and there are other streets, in the area that provide on-street parking, and it's very accessible. It's accessible from the North Quincy T station if somebody was, in need of public transportation, as long as the T is functioning properly. They can take public transportation to get there, but certainly parking is not an issue. And it should be weather permitting. Hopefully, we're fortunate enough. I mean, over the years that I've done this, I've only had to reschedule this once. Anyways.
Wow, that's pretty good. How many years has this been going on, this festival itself? Do you know roughly?
Well, I mean, I started a version of this back, believe it or not, more than 20 years ago.
Okay.
In fact, one of the first ones, that took place in 2001, my father passed away the night before the event, and I was running the event and had scheduled everything, and I had to step back from that day and let everyone else, carry the ball down the field, so to speak. But yeah, so that's one of my strongest recollections of time connection. So it's been a long time. We've run all sorts of events down at Bishop's Field, and bicycle safety days, and where we've raffled off free bikes and helmets. So I'm just thinking back over time, but there's a history for sure.
Yeah. You mentioned the weather. Is there a plan in case of inclement weather?
This year there is not. In the past, I've always set a rain date, but I have to admit that the one year that it happened, I had to compact months worth of activity into a single week, and it was a challenge to get vendors and other participants in that short of a period of time. to reboot for a week later. There's commitments that other providers have that would potentially conflict, and that's what I ran into. I mean, I started planning for this. I actually got the date for this last December, and then over the course of the summer, I'm reaching out to the folks that the vendors, for example, that I've tapped before, and everybody's busy, because we're certainly not the only organization that does these types of things in the fall. So I opted this year, after my experience that one year that we had to reboot, not to do it again, because it was just too much to ask and to try to schedule it. So
Sure. Yeah. So, is the association on social media, Kevin?
yeah, we do. We do have a website. We're on Facebook, and there is if people want to contact me, there's I have an email address, but it's the montclairwollaston.com. And I'm just trying to see my son had set something up for me. Yeah, Kevin at montclairwollaston.com
Okay.
is an email to reach out. And so yeah, I did admit I think at the outset, or at some point along the way, that I'm not as technologically well versed as some of my younger members of my family, and so they help me set things up like this.
Hey, we all have our strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah, for sure. Some of us more on the weaknesses side than the strengths, but hey, we do what we can.
Exactly. Yeah. I know the association also sponsors scholarships throughout the year, right?
Yeah, we do high school scholarships for North Quincy High, and we gave some of those out in May. They're for seniors who are graduating, to use. It's more like a book award, and we actually this year added a new one to recognize Frank Santora's contributions to the Quincy Public Schools. And so yeah, we have 4 scholarships for them. We've had musical instrument scholarships for kids at the Montclair and Wollaston schools, which I'm actually trying to reinvigorate. That kind of went to the wayside for a few years. That and camperships for those students of both of those schools who want to go to summer camps. So I'm endeavoring to reconnect with the PTOs at both Montclair and Wollaston to try to get those types of things going again, because I think it's it's important also I'd like to see this association continue long after my tenure, and love to get new younger folks involved. And I see parents at the schools and the PTOs as perhaps an opportunity to engage younger folks who might want to carry on the legacy of the association.
Sure, sure. So
So
folks can reach out through the website or email you directly if they want to get
yeah,
involved.
yeah, either at the address I gave you, or even at my personal email address, which is kfcoughlin@comcast.net.
Okay, very good. Anything else we should let folks know about right now?
No, I just encourage everyone to to show up and enjoy the afternoon, and once again, we'll keep our fingers crossed that this this peaceful weather will continue in our this little corner of the world.
Absolutely. So again, it's the Montclair Wollaston Neighborhood Association's annual Pumpkin Spice Festival, Sunday, October 27th, noon to 4 at Bishop Field on Holbrook Road in the Montclair section of Quincy. Always great to talk to you, Kevin.
You too. It was great to see you, and if not any sooner, perhaps I'll see you at the Christmas parade. The usual. We usually participate, as you know, with the convertible. So
Absolutely. It'll be here before we know it.
It will. It's not long. It's coming very quickly upon us.
Indeed. All right. Thanks again. Good to talk to you.
Thanks for the opportunity.